Glory heads to the Viking city of Copenhagen for a night of epic battles. As we say, welcome to Glory 40 Superfight Series. The headline bout sees welterweight American rising star Richard Abraham return to the ring after a split decision loss to Antoine Pinto at Glory 38. Abraham's 4-win streak ended, but he hopes to start again tonight against Road to Glory UK winner Jamie Bates. A win for Abraham moves him one step closer to a title shot, but Bates will be no pushover. Plus, local boy Muhammad Elmir brings the Nordic nastiness in a lightweight contest against Simon Santana. The big men battle as French heavyweight Freddie Camayo returns to the ring. His bout against Xavier Vigny at Glory 28 Paris marked him as one to watch, and now he faces Moroccan newcomer Ahmad Haddar. Lightweight Canadian fan favorite Josh Johnsey looks to get back on track against Spain's Antonio Gomez. And American featherweight Chris Mosseri takes on Chinese newcomer Xu Shangxi. It's Glory 40 Superfight Series. New York's Chris Mosseri welcomes Chinese featherweight Yu Hangzi to Glory in the first fight of the Superfight Series. Josh Johnsey faces the hard-hitting Spanish lightweight Antonio Tornado Gomez in a battle of lightweight talents. Old guard meets young blood as the veteran Freddie Camayo drops to light heavyweight for a fight with a 19-year-old newcomer named Ahmad Haddar. An emotional Muhammad Elmir has dedicated tonight's performance to his recently deceased father as he faces Norway-based featherweight Simon Santana in what is sure to be an emotional fight. And in the headline bout, Chicago's determined Richard Abraham looks to get back in the title hunt as he faces British welterweight standout Jamie Bates. This is the Glory Superfight Series 40, live from the Forum Copenhagen in the capital city of Denmark.
We're in over 170 countries around the world. I want to thank those of you joining us now on UFC Fight Pass. My name is Todd Grisham, alongside, always, the former welterweight champion of the world, Joseph Valtellini. Some good fights tonight, Joe. Which one are you most looking forward to?
Well, it's a stacked card, so that's a tough decision, but I'm going with Josh Johnsey versus Antonio Gomez.
Why?
Both pressure fighters, both guys like to come forward, and they're both promising a lot of good action.
Josh Johnsey, 4 knockouts in his 5 Glory wins. He's promised us another one here tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for him. He's come in and he had a tough start to his Glory career, having to fight Sidachai, Giorgio Petrosian. So he's finding his way back to the top of the rankings, and he has a tough test in Antonio Gomez.
And if there's one thing Josh Johnsey is not lacking in, it's confidence.
Well, like most guys, they want to take my head off. They've seen I've been dropped before. They figure they can do it again. What they fail to notice is that every time I've ever been dropped, I've come back even stronger. And most of the time I win the next round or the next rounds after that. Or I smash them, finish them by KO or whatever. So if he's smart, he might not come out like that. However, I don't think he is.
Don't sell Antonio Gomez short. He's promised to light Johnsey up tonight. A very emotional fight tonight in Muhammad Elmir. He's put a lot of pressure on himself, Joe. He says if he doesn't win here in Copenhagen, he might retire.
Well, there's a lot of emotions going on with the loss of his father, and he's adding all that pressure to him, but he's an experienced fighter. He's got 113 wins to his career, so this isn't the first time he's been in Glory, and he's been part of Glory since Glory 1 Stockholm.
The original OG back at Glory 1 Stockholm, Muhammad Elmir, in action tonight here in his hometown of Copenhagen. In our main event, Jamie Bates from England, who just won a big Road to Glory fight, has qualified and made the roster, and we threw him right into the fire against Richard Abraham, who's determined to bounce back after his controversial split decision loss in his hometown of Chicago. He's standing by backstage with the third member of our broadcast team, Whitney Miller, who recently broke someone's arm in a jiu-jitsu tournament.
That's right, Todd, but I'm not the one in the hurting business tonight. That somebody is Richard Abraham. Richard, tell us a little bit about what's been going on. You said you're coming into this fight with a completely different mentality. What's the change been like?
Basically, the change now is to put everyone down. No one's going to make it out of there alive with me. Just going to see a lot more aggressive, a lot more violent Abraham.
No more Mr. Nice Guy, it sounds like.
No.
So moving forward, what's next for you?
Just, you know, I take one fight at a time. After this, I'm go home, get back to work, engraving tombstones, spend time with my family, and heard they're possibly coming back to Chicago, and if so, you'll see me there.
That would be a good one. Well, let's get the show started and toss it out to Tim Hughes.
Are you ready?
The Scandinavian winds bring the world's great kickboxers back from Europe, North America, and Asia to Copenhagen for the Glory Superfight Series. All of our bouts tonight sanctioned by the International Sport Kickboxing Association by Rob Korkmaz is with us ringside. For those with us live inside Forum Copenhagen, to Glory fans watching live around the world, are you ready for Glory? We begin in the featherweight division of Glory and about scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. He becomes only the second Chinese fighter to step inside the Glory ropes at the tender age of just 18. Please welcome Yu-Hong Shi.
You heard Tim Hughes say that this man is only the second Chinese fighter ever to appear in a Glory ring. That's correct. What's also accurate, Joe, is that this is the youngest fighter on the Glory roster.
Yeah, he's only 18 years old, which is incredible. And what's even more crazy is that at the age of 14, he actually gave up going to school to focus on professional fighting.
Yu-Hong Shi making his Glory debut tonight here in Copenhagen.
This man made his Glory debut in Virginia at Glory 32. Here comes Chris Masseri.
Wearing Pantera and coming out to some heavy metal music, that is Chris Masseri. And he's a former gymnast, Joe, not just a former gymnast, but a very good one, world class, in fact, probably could have made the Olympic team had he not been injured.
Yeah, and what he learned from gymnastics is that they have an emphasis on strength, endurance, balance, coordination, flexibility, all stuff that made him a good fighter and which makes him so exciting and powerful and explosive.
So here is our tail of the tape, Chris Masseri and Yu-Hong Shi from China. It's in the featherweight division, 143 pounds maximum. The age, height, and reach edges all go to the American. Here are your Glory rules. 3 rounds, just 3 minutes each. You got to hit the ground, kicking and running, no time to waste. Punches, kicks, and knees are the legal strikes. 3 knockdowns in a round, 4 in the fight. It's a TKO. Only the doctor or referee can stop it.
In Copenhagen tonight, 5 judges will be scoring the bout using the 10-point must system. Scoring is based on knockdowns, damage, clean scoring strikes with an emphasis on spectacular techniques, finally, aggressiveness.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we are scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds in the Glory featherweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the black corner, he is a 2016 WMF World Muay Thai silver medalist and brings with him a record of 10 wins with 2 losses. 5 of those wins by knockout. He makes his Glory debut tonight here in Copenhagen. Standing 5 feet 8 inches tall, 1.73 meters, he weighed in at an even 142 pounds, 64.4 kilos. Fighting out of Changsha, China, ladies and gentlemen, introducing Yu-Hong Shi. Here now is his opponent, standing on my left and fighting out of the white corner, trained in Muay Thai. He made his professional debut back in 2012. His professional record, 9 wins with 4 losses, 4 of those 9 wins coming by way of knockout. At 5 feet 9 inches tall, 1.75 meters, he too weighed in at 142 pounds, 64.5 kilos. Fighting tonight out of Kingston, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Chris Masseri.
And the third man inside the glory ropes, your referee is Tobias Gerald.
Gentlemen, so you know the rules. Respect my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Fight good, fight clean, fight hard. May the best man win. Touch glove if you want, and back to your corners.
We asked Chris Messeri what he knew about his opponent, how much video he'd watched. He said, I know nothing about him, haven't seen 1 second of tape. I just know he's from China, and he's 18 years old.
Fight!
So that's the scouting report that Messeri will enter this fight in. Messeri wearing the white gloves, Huyan Shi in the black.
This is a very interesting fight because even at 18 years old, she has a lot of confidence and doesn't seem to be worried about what Messeri has.
Messeri has fought once in Glory before. A liver kick knockout loss to Giga Chikadze. He wasn't the first to suffer that fate. Certainly won't be the last. So a chance to bounce back from that in a big way here against the much-hyped Yuhan Shi.
Yeah, he also has 2 Glory undercard fights, and he's doing a good job right now at using his pressure fighting and mixing levels with his boxing.
Nice knees as well from the American. Yuhan Shi loves fighting, but his second great love, as Chris works to the body.
It looks like he found that liver shot.
And there's a knee as well. Again, a lot of confidence brimming from Chris Messeri here as he continues just to tee off.
She's being too comfortable hiding behind his defense. He's got to move out of those corners.
She says he's a aggressive crowd pleaser. The crowd has been pleased so far, but it's been because he's getting hit so much.
It doesn't seem like Messeri's respecting the power of Shi.
I was saying earlier that for Yuhan Shi, besides fighting, he likes to read books and draw. A self-proclaimed nerd. Dropped out of school at 14, said his parents were fine with it because they knew how good he was and is at fighting.
He's getting caught with right counter hooks, but Messeri needs to keep that pressure, keep looking for that left hook to the body.
Defensively, Shi just kind of puts his gloves up and goes into a shell.
But what he's doing now is really protecting that liver. That's the time Messeri really needs to take that left hook to the head or maybe throw some left knees or left high kicks.
Oh, and a right hand snaps the jaw.
It's that right hand counter punch that's doing a good job.
This is not the start that Yuhan Shi was hoping for here tonight.
He just doesn't seem to have that power to slow Messeri down, even though he counters back, but there's not much power behind them.
Seems to lack energy as well. Just kind of fading into the corner. But right when we say that, like a lightning bolt, Yuhan Shi drops Chris Messeri.
3, 4, 5, 6.
He'll respect the power now.
Yeah, it didn't look like he had any, but the right timing was perfectly timed. Here comes Shi putting more pressure on.
Just seconds to go in round number 1, and what a round it was. It was almost like Yuhan Shi was playing possum, as we say in America. Just tried to lull him to sleep, and then boom!
Yeah, that's what happens when you're dominating a fight like Messeri was doing there. He just kept being active, and he wasn't worried about that power, so he kept his defense a little low. And let's take a look at what that knockdown was.
Oh.
Beautifully timed overhand right. Perfectly timed, just over that glove of Messeri. Didn't even see that coming.
So Chris Messeri, who was having a dream round, just throwing punches and landing at will, just like that gets dropped.
And that's what's the thing, when you corner someone like that, you always have to take your time, add little pauses in your combinations. This way you check your defense, make sure you keep good distance, because that's a very dangerous position to have someone against the rope. So fighters watching, be careful when you're on the pressure like that.
Instead of a decisive 10-9 round for Messeri, it's a 10-8 round most likely for Yuhan Shi. Great way to kick off our Glory Superfight series here on UFC Fight Pass. I want to welcome those of you who are enjoying this for free.
Shi landed a right hand in that exchange and then a left uppercut.
Shi comes out swinging this round. No more playing defense for him.
Oh, but Masieri found that liver shot again. If I was Masieri, I would double or triple up that left hook.
The body shots are working for Masieri. And it was the overhand right that worked for Yuan Shi. There's a right hand from Masieri.
And right hand.
Oh, is that a knockdown? No, they're saying it was an off-balance knockdown. Nothing official there.
The output of Masieri slowed down.
The mouthpiece comes flying out. Didn't even take a shot. By the way, I want to say hello to John O'Regan, one of our Glory employees and producers, who's with us on the road every single month. He's suffering from a real bad back injury. We're all praying and thinking about you, buddy, and hope we can see you next month in Holland.
What's really impressing me is how she was able to recover from that early onslaught from Masieri, and now he's on the attack.
And now the confidence has returned to Masieri, but that may be a dangerous thing.
But this is where he got caught last time. He can't get too excited. He's got to remember that he needs to defend his head in between.
Yuan Shi told us it respects Chris Masieri, but believes he fights too clumsily. He says, I'm stronger, I'm more flexible, and I fight more freely. That's why I'll win here tonight.
Well, Masieri comes from a Muay Thai background where it's usually a slower pace, relies on singles, but his head defense doesn't seem to be blocking much. That's where Shi keeps landing his right hand and his uppercuts.
And now it's Masieri, and they'll call that a slip. An uppercut now, and just like round one, the early stages belong to the American. The second part of the round belongs to the man fighting out of China.
And Shi needs to be careful the same way he caught Masieri. Masieri's throwing good counter punches, so both guys need to be more defensive when throwing heavy combinations against the ropes.
A big Chinese audience watching right now our Glory Superfight series. They have to be happy with what they're seeing from Yuan Shi, the youngest fighter in Glory at 18 years old. That's the end of round two. A chance for us to take a closer look at the Glory rules.
Glory Kickboxing is the most action-packed fight sport on the planet. Legal strikes are punches, kicks, and knees. Regular bouts are 3 rounds. Championship bouts are 5, and each round is 3 minutes of action. Outfight your opponent for 10-9. Knock them down for 10-8. In a normal bout or tournament final, 3 knockdowns in 1 round or 4 in the entire bout, and the fight is over by TKO. In a tournament semi, 2 knockdowns in 1 round or 3 in the entire bout, and it's all over. Or you can just knock your opponent out. Sweeps, elbows, and grappling are not allowed. Clinching is okay if you follow up with a knee. Glory rules are designed to bring non-stop, fast-paced stand-up action. To find out more, go to glorykickboxing.com.
We're back here for the third and final round in a very entertaining opening bout. Who'd you give that second round to, Joe?
Well, what makes it very difficult to score, it's Masieri doing well in the beginning of the round where Shi seemed to dominate more in the second half, but that round can go both ways.
Either way, round 3 is a must-win for Chris Masieri, who suffered a knockdown in round 1, presumably a 10-8 round. He goes with the left head kick.
And you got to think, judges are looking at damage, and it's Shi that keeps landing that uppercut in the nose of Masieri. He's continuing to bleed.
Masieri landed 62 strikes, Shi with 67. Shi felt like one of his biggest advantages in this fight would be his stamina. We're about to find out.
There doesn't seem to be much left in the punching power of Masieri, but he really needs to work on tightening up his defense.
He looks so good for 2 minutes and 30 seconds of round 1. And now the pictures tell the story as she backs him up against the ropes.
I like how she's really changing the angles of his punches. He'll start by mixing in uppercuts, attacking the body.
Blood pouring out of the nose and mouth now of Chris Masseri. A minute and a half to go here. Masseri looking for his glory win, his first glory win. She looking to win in his glory debut. Oh, and that right hand woke She up a little bit.
That right hand was landing in the first round, but Masseri stopped throwing that. He needs to go back to that left hook to the liver and that counter right hook.
Does Masseri still have the power and the fitness to win this third round? And keep in mind, in glory, if we're all tied after 3 rounds, according to the judges, we will go to an extra round. A push kick from Masseri to create some space. Wasn't able to do much with that space. There's a right hand that grazes the face of She.
That seems like it's Masseri's best shot, is continuing to throw that right hook or that counter right hand. But at this point, he just needs to be more active throwing anything.
Masseri gave us all he had, that's for sure. Not sure it will be enough, though. She now just content on keeping Masseri back away from him. 10 seconds to go. Masseri now swinging from the hills. Oh, caught him with a left. The bell rings, and maybe a couple judges might give that round to the American, and if so, this is going to get really interesting in a hurry.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to call because it was She dominating most of that third round. But it was Masseri finishing a little stronger, so we'll see what happens. But in my unofficial scorecard, I'm giving the fight to Yuhan She.
That's what Joe says. What did the 5 official judges think? We'll find out when we return. Still to come tonight, Canadian Josh Johnsey back in action. Let's take this opportunity to get to know him a little bit better.
My name's Josh Johnsey. I consider myself the future of the sport. I know a lot of guys consider themselves the future of the sport, but you know, a lot of guys will say it, but then do the same everyone else has been doing. You know, they're not evolving. They're not doing anything different. They're not. You know, they're not taking it anywhere else. I believe I am. If you want to be the best at something, you have to be all in. You can't have one foot in there and one foot somewhere else. You know, there's a lot of other, you know, things I like the idea of doing, but this is what I want to do, and this is what I desire to be the best here. My desire to be number one. I'm back to it now again.
Welcome back to Copenhagen, Denmark. Our first fight is over, and it sure was exciting.
Yeah, it started off with Masseri with a lot of good pressure until he got caught at the end of the first round with that right hand from She, which made the fight really interesting from that point. Masseri started off well in the beginning of the second rounds, started using some pressure, but Yuhan She did a good job at changing angles with his punches, using his counter punches, and landing good uppercuts on the inside.
Here are the final statistics, our impact timeline. The flash there you see in the upper right-hand corner is for the knockdown, came at the end of round number 1, and then after that, pretty even. For the official decision, we go into the ring, and Tim Hughes
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of kickboxing, we go to the judges' scorecard. Here are the totals from our 5 ringside judges. One scores it 29-27. The other 4 have it 30-26. A unanimous decision for your winner, Yu-Hong Shi.
It wasn't as close as perhaps many thought it might be, but it was decisive in the end. Yu-Hong Shi with a nice victory here over Chris Massari. What's the future look like for him now?
Well, I think he's just going to develop and continuing to mature into a man. He still looks very young, and you saw in the beginning of that first round, he really didn't have that power yet, and that's going to start developing as he gets older and more mature.
Plus, let us not forget, there may have been some jitters, some nerves. He's fighting in front of several thousand, if not millions of fans around the world, and he's only 18 years old, but he gets a win in his Glory debut. Coming up later, longtime heavyweight Freddie Camayo has decided to drop down to light heavyweight to try and resurrect his career. He will face the much-hyped 19-year-old Ahmad Hutter, who is making his Glory debut. But first, the return of Josh Johnsey, who vows to revolutionize the lightweight division with his aggressive style, but his opponent Antonio Gomez knows a win tonight will solidify his spot in this, the premier kickboxing promotion in the world, Glory.
He will put it out, but it went.
GloryShop.com has all the latest in Glory merchandise, and it comes with the click of a button. Now available, Hayabusa training gloves and a wide assortment of Glory t-shirts, sweatshirts, and hats. Shop now at GloryShop.com.
The big guns are out for Glory 41 Superfight Series. Coming off his historic win against Badr Hari, the king of kickboxing returns. Undisputed heavyweight champ Rico Verhoeven puts his 12-fight win streak on the line against Moroccan Ismail Lazar. Nicknamed the Tank with a chin of steel, Lazar likes to crush his opponents with well-timed bombs and body shots. War is declared. The king of kickboxing returns. Glory 41 Superfight Series at the Brabanthallen Den Bosch, Saturday, May 20th. Don't miss it. We next turn our attention to the lightweight division of Glory. He was crowned national champion as an amateur in 2009 and now a veteran of 60 professional bouts. Here is Antonio Gomez.
They call Antonio Gomez the Tornado. He fights out of Spain and said his trainer gave him that nickname because he kept knocking guys out and doing it in a rapid fashion. He said, man, you look like a tornado in there.
Yeah, he's very aggressive and he's got a lot of power behind him. He made his Glory debut at Glory 36 Germany, where he was part of the Contenders tournament and he had to face Hesni Bakiri. He took this fight on last notice, had 1 week's notice to prepare for that fight, but this fight he's had a full camp, so it's exciting to see what he's going to do.
His opponent, one of the bright young talents of the sport, who last appeared at Glory 35 in Nice, France. Here is Josh Johnsey.
Last night, Joe, you saw Josh Johnsey in the hotel lobby along with his father, Vincent. You had about a, 2-hour conversation with him? What's his mindset heading into this fight?
Well, he knows he's going to be the best in division in his mind and with his father and his brother, Jay. So it's him staying focused. He got thrown into the highest in the division from early on, having to fight Sidichai still very early in his career. He fought a main event fight against Giorgio Petrosian, so he needs to get those consistent wins and keep climbing that ranking again because he is one of the most talented lightweights in the division.
He's got a lot of knockout power. He's won 5 fights in Glory. 4 of them have come by KO. Born in London, England, moved to Vancouver, Canada at 3 years of age. And his father, a former world champion kickboxer in his own right, decided to run a gym, and the rest is history.
Yeah, when Josh was young, he would watch his father training, and it really motivated him. And he even spent time and saved money to go to Holland, and he trained with Andy Sauer, one of the legends of the sport in kickboxing. So he's been dedicating his life to kickboxing from such an early age.
Here's our tail of the tape for this lightweight battle between Antonio Gomez and Josh Johnsey. Johnsey 24, Gomez is 27. The Canadian will have a height and reach advantage,
which he's going to need to use to try to keep Gomez at bay. And Gomez does have a lot of professional experience, but what makes Johnsey very dangerous is having that experience fighting the biggest names in the division already at such an early time in his career.
For the official introductions, we send it into the ring, the veteran voice of Glory, Tim Hughes.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this lightweight bout scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. And introducing first, fighting out of the black corner. He made his Glory debut at Glory 36 in Germany last December. His professional record, 50 wins with 7 losses, 2 bouts scored even, but 29 of those 50 wins have come by knockout. He stands 5 feet 8 and 1/2 inches tall, 1.74 meters, and he weighed in at fight time at an even 153 pounds, 69.4 kilos. Fighting tonight out of Spain, ladies and gentlemen, here is Antonio Tornado Gomez. His opponent fighting out of the white corner, won 4 of his first 5 in Glory, including a win over Jimmy at Lille, Glory 22. His professional record, 25 wins with 8 losses, 14 of those wins by knockout. At 5 feet 11 inches tall, 1.80 meters, he weighed in at 153 pounds, 69.4 kilos. Fighting tonight out of British Columbia, Canada, ladies and gentlemen, here is Josh Johnsey. And the man in charge of the Glory ring is Paul Nichols.
Okay, gentlemen, you understand the rules that you're fighting to. Protect yourself at all times, obey my commands at all times. Do you have any questions? Touch gloves if you like. Break.
It's interesting, Joe. Both of these fighters believe the other fighter has the perfect style for them.
Yeah, and it's a tough fight because it's going to be the pressure fighting of Gomez, where Johnsey's going to look to fight a little bit more on the outside, keep his distance, and fight more on his heels rather than coming forward. But he is an emotional fighter who does like to come forward when he gets anxious and really wants to counter back.
Johnsey also likes to flash out some spectacular offense every now and then, so keep an eye on a spinning back fist, perhaps a couple of elbows to the jaw.
And what Johnsey does well is he really mixes his combinations well. You're going to see him trying to use good low kicks, where Gomez is going to try to get his head on the inside and really use his left hook, and that's his most dangerous weapon.
You mentioned that Josh Johnsey did indeed train in Holland right after school, but not before he worked as a plumber for a year to save up enough money to make that trip to Europe. So Josh Johnsey willing to do whatever it takes to get better in this sport.
And even while he was there, he was able to train with guys like UFC fighter Jose Aldo, so he did gain a lot of experience.
So far, the Tornado, Antonio Gomez, has not showed us that whirlwind power. A little bit of a feeling out process here for the first half of round 1.
That's what makes Gomez very dangerous. Johnsey doesn't want to sit against those ropes for too long because Gomez is going to put some good combinations together.
Johnsey coming off a loss to Christian Baya. That was a real stunner, Joe. No one thought Baya could win that fight, and yet he did. And I know Johnsey felt like he needed to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, he also felt like it should have went an extra round too, but both of those kids are so young and so talented. I'm excited to see Baya back as well.
It's hard to believe Josh Johnsey, not even 25 yet, has so much Glory experience at the highest level. Outside low kick stands Johnsey up from Antonio Gomez. Gomez fighting with a heavy heart tonight. His father died a month and a half ago at the age of 59 due to cancer. Has dedicated this performance to his memory. Straight right hand snuck through the guard of Johnsy.
Gomez is doing a good job at landing those power combinations where Johnsy's trying to use his jab, but it seems like Gomez is getting the better in the exchanges.
You saw the lightning quick speed there from Johnsy. Oh, you could hear that ring throughout this arena.
Johnsy did spend time in Thailand, and he was telling us how he knew he had power in the kicks when the Thais would look at each other and nod of approval when Johnsy hit the pad. So now he's a little bit more confident throwing that right kick.
The proof is in the sound, almost like when you get a real sweet baseball swing. The crack of the bat sounds masterful. And an interesting round one, a tough one to score because it seemed like the Spaniard was more active.
Yeah, that's why I may have to give that first round to Gomez, just being a little bit more constant with his pressure, controlling the center of the ring, where Johnsy was relying more on that single jab to land. But Gomez was able to put a few combinations together and land some good low kicks of his own.
Let's get to know Antonio Tornado Gomez a little bit better. His fighting style, he claims he's aggressive and intelligent. That's nice.
And you see that favorite move where he's constantly throwing it, and the way I like he throws that left hook is he'll throw it a lot to the head and then mix it to the liver, so watch for him really mixing that left hook to the liver.
He trains at MGM Marbella, which is a British-owned gym in the Spanish millionaires enclave of Marbella, and it's owned by former British and European middleweight champion Matthew Macklin. It's a home of a lot of really good boxers. And Gomez says there's nothing I'm going to see from Josh Johnsy, at least with the hands, that I haven't seen there. Round two, scheduled 3. Johnsy in the white gloves, Gomez in the black.
So we really need to see Gomez continue to pressure.
Oh, that head kick wobbled Gomez. He goes down. They don't call it a knockdown. Did his knee touch? I'm not sure. It may still do so eventually because Johnsy has him wobbled.
There's that power in the right kick which started it all. But this is what Johnsy needed earlier in that first round, so just be a little bit more active.
And that knee connects as well.
Johnsey's warming up now. This is where he gets very dangerous. Once Johnsy gains momentum, that's where he starts putting combinations together and looks amazing when he does it.
Blood pouring out of the face somewhere of Antonio Gomez, who looked at his gloves almost as if, what's going on here?
Yeah, but even when Gomez's fight in Germany against Bakiri, once he got knocked down, that's when Gomez started waking up a little bit. And that's when he won, and in my opinion, won the last 2 rounds of that first fight.
It may actually be a cut on his chin.
Probably from that knee.
So the doctor will take a look at this cut. Boy, there's a lot of beard hair there, but
it's hard to see.
That's a horrible looking cut.
It was that perfectly timed right knee by Johnsy.
How did Gomez stand up after that? And they're going to wave it off. He cannot continue. A horrible gash delivered by a massive knee from Josh Johnsy. It's over. And Johnsy back in the win column, his 6th victory here in Glory. Sad that it had to end that way. It was really opening up.
Yeah, Johnsy, just as soon as he found that kick and that knockdown, he was able to pick up, be a little bit more confident, and that right knee was just beautifully timed as Gomez was trying to come in and get more aggressive. So congratulations to Josh Johnsy on getting back in the win column and showing what he's made of, and that he's one of the brightest potentials in the lightweight division.
We'll make it official after this as Josh Johnsy, who vowed to win this by knockout, did just that. touch? Still to come tonight, local favorite from Copenhagen, Mohammed El-Mir.
Style is very aggressive and likes to come forward.
When I fight this time, I fight for my life. So if I lose, I think I will stop. Because this time I fight for my father, so I say first time. First time in September, he said to me, I need to see you fight. So in January, he did. So this time I fight for him. So if I lose, I think, okay, I lose everything. So I lose him, so maybe if I lose this fight, I will think I will stop.
I will say it's the most important fight he ever had. I mean, he have bigger fights than this, for sure, but in the end, it's his career in glory. He have to win this fight, for sure, and he have to do it convenience and by in the KO, I would say.
But now I don't fight for myself, I fight for two persons, me and my best friend, my father. So this time I fight for he and me. So it's pretty good.
We welcome you back. It's not the way perhaps Josh Chauncey wanted to win by knockout, but it goes in the books as a TKO, the 15th knockout of his career.
Yeah, John C., when he came out in that second round, started throwing a lot of kicks, and it seemed like the initial kick wobbled Gomez, and then boom, that beautifully timed right knee, which cut the chin of Gomez. Perfect timing knee by John C., as Gomez was the pressure fighter trying to get inside. Good timing by Josh John C.
Into the ring again we go to Tim Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, you watched it as it happened. We have an official time of 1 minute and 5 seconds of that second round. This one's end by Dr. Stoppage. For your winner, by technical knockout, Josh Chauncey.
Let's go now to Whitney Miller, who's standing by with Josh.
Josh, first of all, congratulations. Those knees and kicks are savage. Was that a part of your game plan tonight?
Well, if you saw my pre-fight interview, then I think you know. I told everyone I was going to smash him with kicks, and then I was going to knee him in the fucking face. I did it, so.
You certainly did. And we know that he's a very powerful fighter as well. Did he surprise you at all?
No, we were really prepared for that. We knew he had hard punches. We knew he was a good boxer. So, yeah, we prepared for it. We knew the kicks would work, and they did. Just a pity that it got finished so quick with the knee with the cut. Because it would have been nice to knock him out. But he's a good fighter, a great fighter. I'm really glad he gave me the opportunity to fight him. But yeah, maybe we can do it again. I don't know. And next time I can really knock him out.
Well, congratulations again. Copenhagen giving up one more time for Josh Chauncey.
No rest for the wicked. Chauncey going right for the jugular after stopping his opponent with a brutal knee to the chin. And there's a backflip. We are live here in Copenhagen, Denmark on UFC Fight Pass, and the action continues here. We still have 2 more fights to go. Still to come, veteran Mohammed El-Mir has put a lot of pressure on himself tonight in front of his hometown fans, saying he's going to retire if he loses. Hoping to send him on his way is Simon Santana, who lives and trains in Norway. But first, Freddie Camayo has faced almost every big name in glory over the past few years, but tonight he faces a 19-year-old who could be the next big name, Imad Hadar. That explosive light heavyweight fight is next.
The big guns are out for Glory 41 Superfight Series. Coming off his historic win against Badr Hari, the king of kickboxing returns. Undisputed heavyweight champ Rigobert Houben puts his 12-fight win streak on the line against Moroccan Ismail Azar. Nicknamed the Tank with a chin of steel, Azar likes to crush his opponents with well-timed bombs and body shots. War is declared. The king of kickboxing returns. Glory 41 Superfight Series at the Brabantaran Den Bosch, Saturday, May 20th. Don't miss it.
Time now for the light heavyweights. Again, about scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. This 19-year-old Moroccan gained instant attention, winning his first professional bout with a spinning back kick knockout. He is Imad Hadar.
Is this the debut of a future Glory superstar, Joe?
Well, at such a young age and such an impressive record, and when we asked him about his record, we're like, you're 19-0 at 19 years old, what do you think? He said, my record is toilet paper, and that these fights in Glory are the ones that matter.
Imad Hadar, known as the problem child. He's of Moroccan descent, and of course, when you cause trouble, you talk trash, and you come on the scene at the age of 19, the comparisons to Badr Hari are going to be there, but he doesn't like those comparisons.
No, the reason he's getting these comparisons outside of the nationality and the look and the problem child name is he has that spinning kick knockout, and so does Badr Hari against Stefan Leko, so that's where the big comparison comes from. But when we asked him, he says it's a compliment to be compared to Badr, but he says, I have no hero, and I want to be better than Badr Hari.
He also added that he's afraid of no human and that he will make a show for the fans tonight. He doesn't just want to win. He wants to win in style. He wants people to talk about him on social media. He wants to make waves.
And it's confidence, and even at the weigh-in, you saw him get right in the face of Kamayo to show that, you know, I may be 19 years old, but I'm not scared of you and your record.
Said he was always fighting on the street growing up. His dad finally said, enough, you're going to the gym. That's where he went, and it led him to where he is today, stepping into the Glory ring for the first time.
His Glory debut occurred in Paris at Glory 28, a seasoned veteran with a career 70% knockout ratio. Here comes Freddy Kamayo.
There is Crazy Horse, Freddy Kamayo, fighting out of France and fighting at light heavyweight for the first time. Joe said he lost 10 kilo and he feels great.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what that move has done. He wasn't the biggest of heavyweights, so it could be a productive move for him. But as a heavyweight, he's fought the who's of the heavyweight division. He's fought Peter Aerts, Daniel Guida, Gokhan Saki, Semi Schilt, Pavel Zervalev. So he's fought the who's in the heavyweight division.
He doesn't want to be referred to as a gatekeeper, but in essence, that's what he is tonight, because we're about to find out if Imad Hadar is for real. And if he beats Freddy Kamayo, he is for real.
Well, you'd have to say so, seeing Kamayo's record, but I think Kamayo has different plans. After that weigh-in, I think that sparked Kamayo to put a little bit of extra power and really try to knock out Hadar if he can.
Some pushing and shoving on the scales yesterday between these two light heavyweights. Here's our tale of the tape. In the light heavyweight division, it's France versus Morocco, 209 pounds, 95 kilos. Look at the age difference, 15 years. But it will be the Moroccan with a height and slight reach advantage.
Which I feel is his advantage to keep Kamayo away. But look at the big professional experience difference with, especially Kamayo having that heavyweight experience. Man, Hadar's in for a tough fight, but this is the future against one of the veterans.
This light heavyweight matchup again scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. And introducing first, fighting out of the black corner, he makes his Glory debut tonight in Copenhagen and puts his perfect professional record on the line. 19 fights, 19 wins with 7 knockouts. He stands 6 feet 5 inches tall, 1.96 meters, and he weighed in at fight time at 203.5 pounds, 92.3 kilos. Fighting tonight out of Morocco by way of Rotterdam, the Netherlands. Here is Imad, the problem child, Hodder. His opponent fights out of the white corner, a three-time French champion, making his second Glory start. His professional career impressive. 67 wins with 23 losses, 1 bout scored even, and 46 career knockouts. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, 1.88 meters, and he weighed in at fight time at an even 207 pounds, 93.9 kilos. He's here tonight in Denmark, fighting out of France. Ladies and gentlemen, Freddie Crazy Horse Camayo. And once again, your referee is Paul Nichols.
Gentlemen, you understand the rules that you're fighting to. Protect yourself at all time, obey my commands at all time. Do you have any questions? Touch gloves if you want. Break. Judge, 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 judge. Timekeeper.
In many ways, this is a boy versus a man. A 19-year-old versus a 34-year-old seasoned veteran who just ate a front kick to the chin. And Hadar's not wasting any time making an impact.
No, he's in a very aggressive style. So I anticipated him coming out really hard like this, but he's got to be careful jumping in like that, eating a nice overhand from Camayo.
Camayo does have 46 wins by knockout. So you're right about being careful if you're the problem child.
But Hadar had to take this fight because he said nobody wants to fight him, so he doesn't really have a choice but to fight those higher experienced guys.
He's so confident in speaking with him the other day. Says he's already ready for a title opportunity. He wants to go right to the top, not waste any time. He doesn't want to win on points, wants to win by knockout. Imad Hadar. And is that a knockdown? I guess not. And if you're Freddie Camayo, when you find out that Glory's putting you against this 19-year-old newcomer, is that almost a slap in the face? Like, you know what, we want this guy to look good. We think he can beat you.
Well, I think Camayo knows that he's still a dangerous opponent no matter how young he is. But you can see the pressure, and Hadar's going to keep coming in there and throwing bombs, but he needs to watch out for the counter-punching of Camayo.
Right hand to the body from Hadar.
It looks like Camayo's just content with counter-punching. He's not really throwing too much volume.
Couple good body shots there from Hadar. Camayo calls himself a lion with a ton of experience, and he's going to eat Hadar alive. But right now he just ate a head kick.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be doing much. He's too content with waiting and counter-punching. So this is where Hadar needs to stay long and stay active and not get overly aggressive. Pick his shots.
Cutting the weight like Camayo did, and I would assume the pounds and the muscle structure as well. How does that play into a fighter's physique and to his mentality in there?
Well, it all depends how he approached his weight cut. If he waited to the last minute, yes, it could affect you. But if he did his homework and started cutting weight from early in his camp, it shouldn't be a problem.
Oh, and a straight right hand. Paul Nichols deciding that was not an official knockdown. Some people may second guess that decision.
But Camayo woke up.
Camayo did wake up, and even though it wasn't an official knockdown, certainly a confidence booster for the Frenchman. Imad Hadar, the problem child, just 19 as we mentioned. We asked him his favorite move. He said knee strikes with knockout power.
And you see that when Camayo's against the rope, that's when Hadar throws those flying switch knees and does a good job with them. But he needs to be careful lunging in like that and eating one of those counter shots.
As for Freddie Camayo, he's a warrior. His favorite move is also the knee, adding a left hook. Veteran heavyweight with over 100 professional fights, and he's 2-0 at light heavyweight.
I'd like to see him use that experience a little bit more like he did at the end of this round, where he was able to score that, what Paul Nichols called a off-balance strike, but you can see it hit the pec. I agree with Paul Nichols on that decision.
A shot to the pec. Don't hear that too often. So in the end, most likely the right decision for Paul Nichols. Should have never doubted him in the first place. But Freddie Camayo did put Hadar on his backside. Round 2 scheduled for 3. Camayo in the white gloves, Hadar wearing black.
And Hadar does have an experienced team behind him. He's trains with Ishmael Lant's former team. He also goes to Hemmer's gyms quite often to get sparring with Earl Zimmerman and all the great fighters that Hemmer's gym has.
Yeah, we asked him if he was concerned about Freddie Camayo's power. He said, listen, I spar with Jamal bin Sadiq. I am not scared of Freddie Camayo. Jamal Sadiq coming off a win over Guto Innocent. There was rumors he might fight Rico Verhoeven next month, but apparently suffered an injury and could not take the fight. Instead, it'll be Rico Verhoeven versus Ismail Lazar. May 20th in Den Bosch, the Netherlands. Straight right hand connects for Camayo.
Camayo's doing well when he's throwing, so he needs to continue to throw those 1-2s down the middle. But he needs to be more active. It seems like Hadar is waiting a little bit more and being a little bit more patient this round.
Hadar expended a lot of energy in the beginning parts of that first round. A couple of running knees, flying knees. So now they're both starting to settle in. Let's see if the experience of Camayo can shine through.
Well, this is where Camayo needs to keep the fight.
And that's a knockdown.
It looked like one of those shots clipped the jaw of Hadar.
It almost looked like he was setting up some sort of spinning attack and lost his balance. We'll have to see the replay, but obviously Hadar is frustrated and now has to really press the attack.
Let go. Fight.
Yeah, because he's
Hadar ate that right hand. Sorry, Joe. Now Camayo teeing off and Hadar takes a knee. The problem child is in big trouble. Is he going to get up? Paul Nichols said it's over. And Freddie Camayo, the Lion, the veteran, refuses to go out like that to a 19-year-old.
And that's what experience does for you. He stayed patient that first round, weathered the storm of Hadar, and then really picked it up in that second round. So good job at Camayo, successfully winning as a light heavyweight. And yeah, let's see what Hadar does back in his camp to improve.
Here's the first knockdown. It was a sneaky shot of some sort. We didn't really see it. Paul Nichols, our referee, did. Here comes Joe.
Let's see what clipped it. It didn't look really like a damaging shot, but this is a look at the second one, which seemed to be set up with a straight right to the body.
Uppercut there.
But it seemed like he was off the guard. Maybe the power punching pushed Hadar's elbow into the liver, but
it may have been an accumulation of punches that began to slowly wear Hadar down and finally out. Hadar loses for the first ever time, and another win for Crazy Horse Freddie Camayo will make it official when the Glory Superfight Series returns. Still to come, Muhammad El-Mir fighting in front of his hometown fans. We spoke to him about this opportunity a little earlier.
When I fight, I think, okay, come. Fighters fight. For me, it's fighters fight. So he has a 2 leg, 2 hand. I have the same. I have heart. I hope he have heart, so it can be a good fight. I think I'm strong. I'm very strong. I'm very aggressive when I fight. I can take everyone. I think I will knock him out. Don't play about the point. I will go from knock him out. So I never lose in 65 kilo. I lose many fights in 70 kilo because people come down to me. So I go up. But now I go down to my real weight. So he will see the real fighter in this weight class.
All right, let's take a look at some of the knockdowns, some of the action from this fight. It started off with Hadar doing well, but Kamayo's experience started to show. And there was that first knockdown, which didn't really look like a damaging shot, but nonetheless, Hadar ended up on the canvas. And here was that second knockdown where Kamayo continued to put the pressure, attack levels with his punches, and just too much power, I guess, to the body, and Hadar goes down and didn't get up for the count.
Let's make it official with Tim Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you watched it as it happened. We have an official time of 2 minutes, 21 seconds of that second round when our referee, Paul Nichols, steps in to wave this one off for your winner by technical knockout, Freddie Kamayo!
Well, certainly a learning experience for Hadar, would you not agree?
Well, yeah, sometimes you need fights like this to kind of set your level, and this is a perfect opportunity for Hadar to get back to training, continue to develop, and continue to get better.
Win number 68 for Crazy Horse. Still to come in our main event, Richard Abraham, coming off a controversial split decision loss, has vowed not to let this one go the distance. It's knockout or bust for the American. Glory newcomer Jamie Bates says he is more skilled and more dangerous and will prove it tonight. But up next, a huge opportunity for Copenhagen's own Muhammad El-Mir.
From a man in Brussels. He was 6'4" and full of muscles. I said, do you speak of my language? He just smiled and gave me a Jamaican sandwich. And he said, I come from a land.
Glory heads to the City of Lights for Glory 42 Paris on Saturday, June 10th. It's revenge, rivalry, and rematch when current welterweight champion Cedric Doumbé faces the man he beat for the title at Glory Collision, #1 ranked Nicky Holzken. Will a rubber match of these rivals establish Doumbé as the next great champion, or can Holzken show that his only defeat in Glory was a fluke? Saturday, June 10th, it's Glory 42 Paris.
Time once again, ladies and gentlemen, for the lightweights and about scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. This Spanish kickboxing champion now fights under the flag of Norway. Here comes Simon Santana.
I got this, yo.
Simon Santana, the Fury, fighting out of Norway, but he was born in the Dominican Republic, lived in Spain most of his life up until about 4 years ago, and that's when he moved to Norway. And We're about to have an all-Scandinavian affair, Norway versus Denmark.
And even with all that travel, Santana's a martial artist from such a young age. He started karate, karate when he was 7 years old. Then he was introduced to kickboxing when he was 18 years old, and he continues to be a martial artist.
With over 100 career fights, he first stepped into the Glory ring way back in Stockholm at Glory 1. Here is Mohammed Elmir.
Let's get a little techno up in here. As the Desert Storm, fighting out of Denmark, but born in Palestine, which is why he has that flag. Moved to Denmark when he was 1 year old. Started Muay Thai at the age of 12, Joe, and it's worked out pretty well for him.
Yeah, and he has a lot of experience coming in, but none of those fights from the past mean as much as this one here for him tonight. Being in Denmark is a big deal for him. Dedicating this fight to his father is a big deal to him. So he's even put the pressure on himself, saying if he loses this fight, he might be done with kickboxing as a whole.
The first time we saw Mohammed Elmir was the first time we saw Glory at all. He was on the Glory 1 fight card in Stockholm, and he is soaking this all in, Joe. Like you said, if he loses, he may retire.
Yeah, but this is tough for him, and he needs to enjoy this moment. Maybe this gives him the passion and the drive again to keep wanting to do well. And this guy never takes easy fights. He fights anyone, anywhere, anytime. So let's see this fight.
Here's your tale of the tape in the featherweight division. Mohammed Elmir fighting out of Copenhagen. Simon Santana out of Norway.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this lightweight battle scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. And introducing first, standing on my right and fighting out of the black corner. He is a 2-time Norwegian Muay Thai champion, but last year became a full contact world champion. His professional record, 27 wins with 11 losses, 1 bout scored even, 6 of those wins by knockout. Standing 5 feet 7, 1/2 inches tall, 1.72 meters. He weighed in at an even 146 pounds, 66.3 kilos. Fighting tonight out of Norway, ladies and gentlemen, introducing Simon the Fury Santana. His opponent fighting out of the white corner, a 3-time Danish Thai box champion and WKN European champion. His record, 113 wins with just 23 losses and 33 career knockouts. At 5 feet 9 inches tall, 1.76 meters, he weighed in at 146 1/2 pounds, 66.5 kilos. Fighting tonight out of Denmark, ladies and gentlemen, Mohammed the Desert Storm Elmir. Once again, your referee in charge is Tobias Gerald.
You know the rules, so respect my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Fight good, fight clean, fight hard. May the best man win. Touch glove if you want.
They go nose to nose. The stare down there. Mohammed Elmir, whose father died in December of cancer. His father never watched him fight, refused to do it. But his mother doesn't miss a fight. She's in the crowd along with all his brothers and sisters. Emotions on high for Elmir, and here we go. Mohammed Elmir in the white gloves, Simon Santana in the black.
You're going to see Elmir use a little bit more pressure. He doesn't like to move back too much, where Santana's going to fight a little bit more on the outside and use his counters.
Simon Santana says he's a combination of a fighter, attacker, and counter-attacker. Believes his explosiveness and stamina will be too much for the Danish fighter.
It looks like one of his strategies is to fight Elmir on angles, because Elmir is one of those pressure fighters who likes to control the center of the ring.
A flying knee there from Elmir, who gets his right hand caught behind the rope for a second. That could have been very dangerous. In Elmir's last fight against Sergey Adamchuk, Joe, he only landed 2 punches going into the 3rd round, but says he's been working on that part of his game.
Yeah, Adamchuk's a tricky fighter, so that's very difficult for anyone. It's going to be a little bit easier for Elmir to land his punches today.
Come stop. Go to corner. Go to corner. Corner. Come on.
Simon Santana, who's a carpenter when he's not fighting. Hopes to carve out a masterpiece here. And this, his glory debut, let us not forget that. A big moment for him as well. And as great a story as Muhammad Elmir has about all the things going on in his family life, let us not forget that this is a dream come true for Simon Santana. And a right hand connects there from Elmir. Santana not too fazed by it.
No, Santana's doing a better job at throwing combinations on the outside, but when Elmir throws, he's doing the damage. There's those angles again from Santana, trying to step out to his right.
And a big roundhouse right, and Elmir is on wobbly knees now. And here goes Simon Santana.
But there's Elmir's mentality to sit there and keep fighting back.
A big moment in this fight, and Elmir has weathered the storm, at least for now. But some surprising power from Santana, who only has 6 knockouts in his 27 wins.
And
there's another big right.
Yeah, he keeps finding that right hand. Maybe that's why he's continuing to step out on that right angle to land that right hand.
And a nervous quietness now has taken over the forum here in Copenhagen. Another overhand right connects for Santana. That's his go-to punch.
It's definitely slowing down Elmir, making him think twice.
That's the bell, an impressive round 1, the first glory round of Simon Santana's career.
And it was a good round. He did really well. He started off a little bit slow, trying to throw combinations on the outside, but then he started finding those big right hands and caught Elmir right off the chin, right over that hand, and that seems to be his best shot. He's constantly trying to take angles and throw that right hand, but he needs to start setting things up differently and not constantly rely on just on that right hand.
Here's our fighter profile for the Fury, Simon Santana.
Yeah, he's that combination style like you're seeing now. He doesn't like to always throw one. He is throwing that big right hand, but he likes to mix it in combinations. He is throwing low kicks, but Elmir's doing a good job at blocking those. And as I mentioned on his walkout, he's a martial artist starting karate from the age of 7.
And his favorite strike is the low kick, which is also your favorite strike.
It is.
I know you like that.
Ready? Fight!
Round 2. So Elmir now certainly backed up against the 8 ball, so to speak, after a rousing round 1 for Santana.
Those 1-2s down the middle from Elmir are landing really well.
It was Elmir who told us that he wasn't thinking about going to the judges. He wanted a knockout, and that is not ruled a knockdown by Tobias Harris, our referee.
Elmir's finding that right straight, right down the middle, right between that defense of Santana.
And that will be a knockdown, surely. No, it won't be. So perhaps some good fortune for Santana.
Yeah, both of those could have easily been called knockdowns.
Either way, they were scoring blows for Elmir, who's certainly waking up and has woken up this crowd.
That straight right from Elmir is landing every time. Santana's shoulders are really square and he's throwing looping punches, so that right hand of Elmir is winning.
Looping punches are what's working for Santana. Straight punches are working for Elmir. And for the 3rd time in this round, down, Santana goes down, and it's not ruled an official knockdown. Elmir really is letting it all hang out here. So much emotion and grief and excitement and anxiety flowing through the veins of Elmir.
Santana keeps showing that he wants to throw a spinning attack. Nice kick to punch combination.
Remember, according to Elmir, his career is on the line tonight. Lose and he retires. Win and he fights on. Is this a case of Elmir just starting to figure out what he's facing now?
Well, I think he has to pick the pressure up. Santana was doing a good job at landing that right hand again, but Elmir knows he needs to put the pressure on in order to get that knockdown, and that right hand's landing every time.
Spinning back fist. And that may have been too close to the elbow. Elbows are not legal here in Glory. "30 seconds to go in round 2. A much better round for the man from Copenhagen as he works the body with that right hand.
Elmir's conditioning looks really good. He's definitely put the work in the training.
Boy, this is going to shape up and set us up for a fantastic final round here. The knee to the ribcage for Elmir. So in his 137th professional fight, Elmir is starting to get the wheels turning here.
Yeah, that was a way better round for Elmir, and he could have easily lost that first round, so his corner must have told him to pick up the pace in this second round, and it's that right hand that keeps landing. It was on the button. That could have easily been called the knockdown. Let's see the second time that Santana goes down.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, but both of those could have easily been scored knockdowns. Quite surprising that they weren't.
Well, those two, that third one I wouldn't call a knockdown. It looked like Mori was off balance and thrown to the floor, but those first two could have easily been called knockdowns.
One more time, Joe. It's a straight shot to the jaw. Boom, right there. And I guess the saving grace for Santana is that he was in the process of throwing a leg kick.
Yeah, it looked like he was more flash there on the way down than he tries to catch himself, but that could easily be called a knockdown.
Nevertheless, it was not a knockdown.
Which makes this third round interesting because that first round you can give to Santana.
Well, you would have to give it to Santana because he scored a knockdown in round 1. Excuse me, he did not score a knockdown.
No, he wobbled Elmir.
Wobbled him, correct. My apologies.
Which is why I gave Santana the first round where Elmir dominated that second.
There's been so many fighters on the canvas, there had to be a knockdown in there somewhere, but I guess not. I'm just making things up in my brain. It's a mirage. 47 landed strikes for Elmir, 46 for Santana.
Santana's a lot more active, but when Elmir lands, they do damage. And Santana keeps hitting the canvas, whether it's slips or off balances or knockdowns, he keeps ending up on the canvas.
Elmir appears to be a little bit fresher, at least in the early going here of round 3.
His conditioning looks impressive. Santana's really loading up on that big looping right hand.
And so many fighters or athletes, when they're fighting for a cause greater than themselves, like Elmir is, fighting in the honor of his late father, that can work for you or work against you many times.
There's a lot of emotions in here, but Elmir got warned for catching the low kick of Santana.
Elmir told us it's impossible for him to lose this fight. And he's starting to act like it now. He's the bully going right after Santana. That right hand snuck in. Santana kind of wilted a little bit.
Yeah, Elmir launches and throws big power punches and then clinches up and throws knees. This way he can defend against the counter punching.
Mouthpiece falls out. Tobias Harris thought about cleaning it. He'll wipe it on his pants, then drop it himself. Wipe it on his pants again. Good enough. Here we go.
Time in. Fight!
42 seconds left. That was an obvious push.
I have Elmir really winning this round so far. If Santana wants to have a chance at winning this fight, Santana has to pick up the pace and combo and counter back.
There's an overhand right that grazes the nose in a second one, but they didn't land flush like they did in round one. That uppercut landed flush from Elmir.
Santana has 20 seconds. If I were him, I'd start trying to throw that right hand, see if he can clip Elmir.
And now Elmir firing away. 10 seconds to go.
There's that
haymaker.
There's that right hand.
Oh, the right hand buckles Santana. Elmir, and he eats a couple. They'll swing like Neanderthals to the end of round 3. What a fight! And Muhammad Elmir thinks he's done enough to win it.
What a beautiful ending. Both guys really exchanging and really showing how much they want to put in to win this fight.
Muhammad Elmir gets a standing ovation from his friends and family in attendance here who believe certainly that their guy won this fight.
Well, regardless, he left it all into this ring. He put all his heart, his emotion, the pain, the suffering, and everything he threw in that fight, and it really showed.
He wanted the knockout, and he was fighting like he wanted the knockout there at the end of round 3.
He left it all out there, and he probably made a good pact to himself that all that emotion and the stress, and this was a perfect opportunity to get that all out of him and start his career again. So hopefully we see more of Elmir.
Does Elmir pick up win number 114? We shall see next.
Things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how. Because maybe
Still to come in our main event, it's Richard Abraham, who's not just looking for a win, he's looking for a KO. We spoke to him earlier here in Copenhagen.
Yeah, I got a prediction. A war, absolute war, just all out, from start to finish, action. I'll tell you right now, we're just both gonna go for it. I think he's gonna go for it. I mean, this is like his opportunity, whatever the case may be. You know, good for him, you know, but it doesn't matter who's in front of me right now. It has nothing to do with who's in front of me. It has all to do with just, I got this violence in me that's gotta come out. I've had many tragedies happen in my life, and I'm not where I am today because I laid back and I felt poor me. I am where I am in my life is because I got up and I looked at it and I said, nah, that's not going to work for me, and I got back to work. But the goal is to just absolutely dominate. Just absolutely dominate, knock out, or just completely dominate every second of it.
All right, let's take a look at some of the highlights from this fight's action. And it was that early right hand of Santana that kept catching Elmir, which I gave the first round to Santana. But Elmir started picking up the pace, started landing straight rights of his own, and 2 questionable knockdowns that could have easily gone to Elmir. But Elmir showed great conditioning and constantly pushing the pace, landing some good punches. But that grit and that Simon Santana combo back kept throwing that big right hand, showing his will to win. But it feels like Elmir feels like he won in front of his hometown.
Simon Santana also seems somewhat confident. Let's find out who's right as we look now at our final strikes by round. Obviously round 3 going to Muhammad Elmir. Round 2, also the edge to the man from Denmark. Round 1 leaning towards the Norwegian. Tim Hughes with our official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 hard-fought rounds, we go to the judges' scorecard. All 5 of our ringside judges see about the same and score it 29-28 for your winner by unanimous decision, Muhammad Elmir.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118,
A great moment for Muhammad Elmir. His friends and family, obviously very emotional. He's dedicated this performance to the memory of his late father. He's standing by with Whitney Miller.
Muhammad, congratulations. In front of your hometown, you have your friends and family here, even your mother sitting ringside. Describe your emotions tonight.
Yes. Everybody know I'm gonna fight for my father tonight. This is a bigger fight for me, but everybody know the last 3 months I don't do anything, only train and cut my weight. I'm start from 83. The last day I'm 66. That today I will thank Simon. He's a very hard fighter. Thank you, Simon.
It was an action-packed, agree, give it up for him. It was an action-packed fight. You said you may retire after this fairly soon. Is that still an option?
No, I don't think that. I'm gonna fight again. I hope Glory can give me the fight, and the fourth-man tournament, I will show what I can. I show all the people I come in my 66 kilo is my weight fight. That next time I'm gonna fight, I don't give a fuck.
Muhammad, one more for me. You're in front of your hometown here. What is your message to everybody here?
I will thank everybody to come to see me today. All my fans and my family and my girlfriend, everybody, I will thank you. I hope I see you next time again when Glory come back to Denmark.
Copenhagen, give it up one more time for Muhammad Elmir.
What a great moment for Muhammad Elmir, winning in front of his hometown fans. And really the last time we saw him fight against Sergey Adamchuk, he looked completely outmatched and overclassed.
Yeah, Sergey Adamchuk is a tricky opponent, and this is the fight that I liked for Elmir because it allowed him to showcase that forward pressure and allowed him to really showcase himself in a different way.
We've seen some fantastic bouts tonight. Josh Johnsey with a TKO victory. Too bad that one got stopped early because of that cut under the chin.
Yeah, I was surprised, but that cut must have been really bad because usually if it's under the chin, it's not affecting the vision, and the referees would let it go a little longer, but it must have been a big gash that we couldn't really tell inside of his beard. But Johnsey looked incredible. Had a slower first round, but that second round, Johnsey really picked up the pace and showed what he's made of.
Antonio Gomez showed a lot of heart as well in that fight. It was a pretty darn good one. Still to come tonight, obviously, is our main event. Richard Abraham back in action after a close, controversial loss to Antoine Pinto.
That's going to be another fun fight to watch. Jamie Bates is coming off of a UK Road to Glory fight, which makes it very interesting because he is being thrown right into Richard Abraham, who has a lot to prove after his loss to Pinto.
That's right, and his opponent tonight, Jamie Bates out of the United Kingdom. He's coming in off a victory in a Road to Glory match. That got him here. He thought he'd never get to glory, and he vows to make the most of that opportunity.
And it was a tough fight to come in here. He had to fight a 6'7" giant. Wasn't an easy fight, but nonetheless, he's here. He's been working with a new coach to help him develop into this glory type of rules in boxing, so he's a tough fight, and that fight can go either way in my mind.
Before we move on to our main event, how about Freddie Camayo? He said, I've got the heart of a lion. A lot of people have written me off, think maybe I should leave the sport, but no way. After tonight's fight and win for him, he looks pretty comfortable in the light heavyweight division.
And he showed his experience, and that what was amazing because he had to weather that early storm that Hadar had, and then he started putting some pressure on and started being more active. And it just shows that Hadar does have a lot to learn still, and especially toughen up that body, only being 19 years old.
Ahmad Hadar came out like a house of fire, running, jumping kicks, flying knees, but in the end, it was determination and the body shots from Camayo that won the day.
And that's that experience. He came in and he kept throwing those big body shots, and it's nice to see what Camayo can do in the light heavyweight division.
So 4 fights down, 1 to go, and we think it might just be the best one. Our main event, Richard Abraham squaring off against Jamie Bates.
Glory heads to the City of Lights for Glory Superfight Series Paris on Saturday, June 10th. Featured matches include a featherweight battle between number 2 ranked Sergey Adamchuk and 6th ranked Dylan Salvador, and the main event comes from the welterweight division. The aforementioned Antoine Pinto, coming off a victory over Richard Abraham, squares off against the rugged and tough Yoann Congolo. We'll see you in Paris Saturday, June the 10th.
The big guns are out for Glory 41 Superfight Series. Coming off his historic win against Badr Hari, the king of kickboxing, returns. Undisputed heavyweight champ Rico Verhoeven puts his 12-fight win streak on the line against Moroccan Ismail Lazar. Nicknamed the Tank with a chin of steel, Lazar likes to crush his opponents with well-timed bombs and body shots. War is declared. The king of kickboxing returns. Glory 41 Superfight Series at the Brabantal in Den Bosch, Saturday, May 20th. Don't miss it.
This man was the first American to fight and win in Thailand's new Lumpini Stadium. A unanimous decision for your winner. And now Glory qualifying tournament winner, Richard Maximus Abraham.
There's no hostility towards anyone. Just enjoy punching each other.
Your winner by unanimous decision and the winner of an exclusive contract with Glory, Jamie Bates!
Where do you feel you rank right now in the landscape of the welterweight division? I'm going to show you how great I am. Are we looking at a future welterweight champion of the world, Richard Abraham? He's riding high after a recent defeat of ISKA World Champ Kev Ward in the United Kingdom. Here comes Jamie Bates.
Jamie Bates feels he can not only just come in and be a contender, Joe, he feels he can come in and be a champion. Only 6 losses in 29 fights. He's really starting to find his form. At 27 years old, he's in the prime of his career.
Well, that's the confidence you need. If you're going to come into the Glory ring, I need you to have that confidence in order to be successful. But he came in winning on a road to glory in the UK, where he fought a 6'7", basically giant to get in here. But he showed a lot of skill, and he really impressed core hammers of the Glory talent operations. So you got to know he has a lot of skill.
Said he'll never forget when he received the call. He was eating salt and pepper chips.
Intercontinental champion last appeared in front of his hometown fans at Glory 38 Chicago. He is Richard Abraham.
The smile is gone. The laugh is not there. It's all business. Violence is what he promises tonight.
He says he's changed his mindset, and he feels that now he's going to be a lot more aggressive. He's looking for punishment. He's looking for knockouts. He's looking to be more active. So he doesn't want to leave it into the judges' hands anymore.
MMA Odds Breakers has set the line at Richard Abraham as your favorite in this fight at -165.
And what makes Richard Abraham very dangerous is the power that he has in his hands. So expect good overhand rights, good left hooks, and low kicks. He says he's going to be a little bit more active this time, throwing more combinations and more low kicks. So let's see what fight he can do against the taller Jamie Bates.
Here is our tale of the tape. This our main event on the Glory Superfight Series. It comes to us from the welterweight division, maximum of 170 pounds. The height and reach advantage are massive, and they lean to the man from Great Britain.
Which is going to be a strategy against Abraham, because Abraham's looking to get on the inside. Jamie Bates fight on the outside. Jamie Bates does have an advantage when it comes to professional fight experience, but that 4-1 record in Glory will play in Richard Abraham's favor.
Here are your glory rules. A reminder for you as Abraham squares off against Jamie Bates. This is not a title fight, so it's 3 rounds, 3 minutes each. Punches, kicks, and knees are the legal strikes. 3 knockdowns in a round. 4 in the fight result in a technical knockout.
Tonight in Copenhagen, 5 judges will be scoring the bout using the 10-point must system. Scoring is based on knockdowns, damage, clean scoring strikes with an emphasis on spectacular techniques, which include spinning techniques and high kicks. Finally, if there's no clear advantage, we're looking at aggressiveness.
Your headline super fight of the evening shines the brightest spotlight yet on the careers of these 2 fighters. One already recognized in the Glory World Rankings, the other hoping to climb to those same heights. This bout sanctioned by the International Sport Kickboxing Association, and at the opening bell, your referee is Tobias Gerald. From Denmark to Den Bosch, Glory kickboxing fans are watching live around the world. It's time for Glory! Introducing first, fighting out of the black corner, a 2017 Road to Glory UK Tournament champion and a 2014 Kickboxing World Champion. His record stands at 23 wins with 6 losses, 3 of those bouts by knockout. At 6 feet 1 inches tall, 1.85 meters, he weighed in at fight time at 168 1/2 pounds, 76.4 kilos. Fighting tonight out of the United Kingdom, ladies and gentlemen, introducing Jamie Bates. Here now is his opponent, standing on my left and fighting out of the white corner, a Glory Contender Tournament champion. His record, 11 wins with 4 losses, and 4 of those wins coming by knockout. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, 1.75 meters, and he too weighed in at 168 1/2 pounds, 76.5 kilos. Fighting out of Itasca, Illinois, USA, here is Richard Maximus Abraham. And the man in charge of the Glory Ring is Tobias Gerald.
Richard, Jamie. Gentlemen, I give you instructions in the dressing room. So respect my commands at all times, protect yourself at all times. Fight good, fight clean, fight hard, may the best man win. Any question from you, Jamie? Any question from you? Judge Glove if you want, back to your corners. Judge, back to the corner. Back to the corner. Judge, time in. Ready, fight!
3 rounds in the welterweight division. Richard Abraham wearing white gloves, Jamie Bates wearing black. Are we about to see the return of Richard Abraham or a new contender born before our eyes in Jamie Bates?
Jamie Bates is doing a good job at throwing his kicks on the outside, being very dynamic, mixing in his kicks and his punches. If I were Abraham, that's the shot you need. Throw power punches. Keep Jamie Bates honest.
We saw in his last fight, Richard Abraham tried to go tit for tat, so to speak, with the much larger Antoine Pinto. Tonight he vows that will not be the game plan. I am going for the kill. Abraham with a very strong and vocal, passionate fan base back in Chicago. They're watching at Tree Guys Pizza in Illinois. Richard Abraham's wife Kelly, his 6 children. Everybody's tuning in right now here on UFC Fight Pass.
He has a lot to prove, and he definitely has the advantage in power, where I feel Bates is going to use a little bit more volume on the outside.
It's no secret Abraham has to find a way to get inside, get past that long reach advantage that Jamie Bates holds.
The best strategy when fighting a taller fighter is hit the body, use the low kicks. Once you hit the body, it's easier to hit the head.
Level change, the message from Joseph Valtellini.
Because he's continually missing with those overhands. If he would set it up with a straight to the body, then go left hook to the head. But he needs to keep throwing low kicks.
Not a lot of power in the hands of Jamie Bates, at least judging by his record. Of his 23 victories, 3 have come by knockout. But the volume right now has been pretty impressive for Bates.
Yeah, Bates has good distance control. He stays on the outside, so every time Richard Abraham steps into mid-range, he throws something, whether it's a kick, whether it's a jab, so it makes it hard for Abraham to get on the inside.
A gruesome injury for Jamie Bates 2 fights ago. He fought Ciprian Chiopu from Romania, took a kick to the face, and the Romanian's toenail dislodged into the head of Bates, who needed 45 stitches. So that put him on the shelf for a while.
Yeah, I think about a year that cut kept him out.
He says he's 100% now and is not worried about it. I think Abraham would take a toenail victory right now if he could get it.
Yeah, Abraham's not active enough. He's throwing from too far out. He needs to get closer before he throws.
There's a shot landed by Abraham, but he's taken too many in return.
I'd still like to see him hit the body. He's overreaching for the head when the body is right there.
We've heard a lot about Richard Abraham and his thoughts on winning. Let's listen in now to Jamie Bates.
All out war. That's what the fans want to see, but it's going to be a technical war. Not technical in the sense that I'm going to be moving around back and off. I'm going to be technically aggressive. There's going to be method in the madness. I'm going to frustrate him. He's going to get wild. And then I'm going to land a lot of shots. If it knocks him out, knocks him out. If they tot up and add to the scorecards, add to the scorecards.
Some clairvoyant words, at least so far, for Jamie Bates.
Yeah, and he's actually doing what he said in his pre-fight interview. He's staying long, picking his shots, trying to frustrate Abraham. And he's doing a good job at that by staying long, using his jab, making it hard for Abraham to get on the inside.
A nice opening round for Jamie Bates.
Ready, fight!
Round 2 scheduled for 3. Richard Abraham, the first American to fight at the new Lumpini Stadium in Thailand and win. He's fought under the bright lights many times before. This, his biggest fight ever. The same can be said for Jamie Bates.
And on paper, it's Bates that has more professional fight experience. So that could still be in favor of Jamie Bates, and this is why he's doing a good job at keeping his distance and fighting on the outside. And even in the pre-fight interview, Bates called Abraham a good puncher, but not a good boxer, so he feels that he has the advantage when it comes to boxing.
Jamie Bates said he would frustrate Richard Abraham. Do you feel like that's the case so far?
Well, it is, because he's using different weapons. He's throwing good counter left hooks. He's throwing axe kicks, high kicks. He's constantly changing up his style, which is making it very hard for Abraham to know where he is. Abraham, in my opinion, is too content with the space between. He keeps moving back. He needs to push forward and not really let Bates push him back.
Bates told us his game plan would be to hit Richard Abraham on the way in and hit him on the way out.
Good strategy.
I guess Abraham's strategy would be to hit him everywhere else, hit him in between. He's got to get inside. Easier said than done against Jamie Bates, who's 6'1" compared to the 5'9" Abraham.
Abraham is headhunting.
I was going to ask
you. He needs to hit the body. He needs to hit the body. He needs to find that body before throwing that overhand.
I know you wouldn't mind a couple of low kicks either, would you?
Definitely. Especially on the exit. That's the low kick that you want. After those punches, don't just throw a single right hand. Follow with combinations. Keep pressing forward. Don't keep moving
back. A nice right hand there for Bates that connect. And that got Abraham riled up as he charges back in again.
Bates is fighting really well. He's doing exactly what he said. He's staying long, hitting Abraham as he's coming in, and hitting him as he exits.
Jamie Bates' coach, Jeff Bates, said yesterday a good big man beats a good little man. And so far, that may be the case here. That ruled an off-balance fall there for Richard Abraham. So 1 round to go. How do you have it, Joe?
Well, I have to give it 2 rounds to 0 for Jamie Bates. He's just more active on the outside. He's frustrating Abraham. Abraham's throwing power shots, but they're not landing.
Here's the current state of affairs in the welterweight division right now. Richard Abraham ranked number 6. And a big fight coming up in Paris, Glory 42. Cedric Doumbé puts his title on the line against the man who he beat to win it, Nicky Holzken.
Yeah, that is one of those rival fights that I'm pumped for, and I think this just shows how amazing kickboxing is, because Cedric Doumbé came in and upset Nicky Holzken, and I know Nicky Holzken really wants to come back and has something to prove, so I'm pumped for that one in Paris.
So according to the scorecard of Joseph Valtellini, Richard Abraham needs a knockdown here in round 3 to possibly force an extra round. Here we go, 3 minutes left in our main event, Bates versus Abraham. What are you telling Abraham and Bates respectively in their corners?
Well, Abraham has to be more active. He can't just throw single punches, and he's backing up too much. He has to stand his ground and counter right back. Where Bates just has to keep the same strategy. Fight long, use his jab, keep distance.
Now, it's Abraham who tried the spinning back fist. And there's perhaps some of that frustration for Abraham.
Yeah, Abraham needs to stand his ground. He's too content with backing up every time Bates throws. He has to stand his ground. And I think I hear his corner yelling, "Stand your ground."
It's a case where he might need to eat 2 to land 1.
Well, he's got the advantage in power, in my opinion, so he needs to get inside and really let those hands go. But if he goes left hook to the body, then throws that right hand over, but he needs to set it up by hitting the body or with a low kick or something, but he's too content with too much space between the two of them.
Bates' game plan has worked to perfection thus far. This is exactly what he said he would do. And what a whirlwind for him. Just 2 months ago, won the Road to Glory fight. Now here he is.
He didn't have even much time to recover from that fight. Went right back into training, picked up a new coach in Dean Sudkin, where they only had about 6 weeks to work, so Dean was very curious to see how Bates adapted to the new training.
Abraham seems like he may be out of ideas. It's overhand right or bust. There's a head kick.
It's a better round for Abraham, but there just doesn't seem to be the power in that shot to do much damage.
Half a minute to go. A couple of nice punches there. A 1-2 for Bates. So Jamie Bates, whose father also was a professional kickboxer, appears to have made the most of his moment in the sun, going 3 rounds with Richard Abraham and looking very good doing it. Abraham trying to land a late home run shot, but not enough time. A spirited contest for sure. Both men with their gloves raised in the air. Who did you give that 3rd round to, Joe?
I give that 3rd round to Richard Abraham. He was a little bit more active, pushing the pace, landing some better low kicks that round. Pushing it, and by Abraham standing his ground, that's what made him win that 3rd round. He should have done that earlier from the 1st round.
Looking at the total strikes landed, Bates 51 of 123, Abraham 35 of 102. He was more accurate and he was more active. Is that enough to give Jamie Bates a victory in his Glory debut? That decision when we return.
The big guns are out for Glory 41 Superfight Series. Coming off his historic win against Badr Hari, the king of kickboxing returns. Undisputed heavyweight champ Rico Verhoeven puts his 12-fight win streak on the line against Moroccan Ismail Lazar. Nicknamed the Tank with a chin of steel, Lazar likes to crush his opponents with well-timed bombs and body shots. War is declared. The king of kickboxing returns. Glory 41 Superfight Series at the Brabanthallen Den Bosch, Saturday, May 20th. Don't miss it.
Welcome back here. We are ringside. Our main event just wrapped up. Here's some highlights from Richard Abraham and Jamie Bates.
Yeah, and it was a lot of Jamie Bates really staying long, staying active on the outside, really catching Abraham as he was coming in, trying to throw different strikes. He showed different variations of his boxing, showed good kicks. In my opinion, Jamie Bates stealing the first 2 rounds by staying long. But in round 3, it was Richard Abraham who did a better job at standing his ground, countering back. But Jamie Bates just shows that his height, his reach, his distance control is going to be a tough one for a lot of the welterweights in the division.
Our official decision now from Tim Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecard. Here now are the totals from our 5 ringside judges. One has the bout 29-28. The other 4 all score at the same 30-27. A unanimous decision for your winner, Jamie Bates.
Jamie Bates, congratulations on your Glory debut. You came in here, you wanted to make a name for yourself. Rate your performance for me tonight.
My performance was okay. I'm a perfectionist. It was nothing like a sword plan now, but I did enough to get the win. I took his bombs and he can bomb, just as he can bomb. But like, now that's the start. Let's get serious.
I heard that if you won tonight, you wanted to fight as soon as Glory New York in only a couple of months. What would it mean to fight at Madison Square Garden?
To fight Madison Square Garden is every fighter's dream. So get me on there. I'm sure there's a few Americans want to get the pride back, so let's have it.
Well, congratulations again. Enjoy your victory.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Jamie Bates with the biggest win of his career. He's here in Glory, which is a dream come true, and then he wins his debut match in very impressive style. 4 of the judges say it was unanimous, a sweep.
Yeah, Jamie Bates looked incredible, and to fight someone like Richard Abraham, who had a good run in Glory and had some good momentum, it was a tough fight that he stepped up for and did really well, and his distance control, the way he kept Abraham at the end of his punches looked incredible.
Besides Jamie Bates tonight, we had 5 fights in all. Which fighter impressed you the most here in Copenhagen?
Well, I like Josh Johnsey. He's constantly improving. He looked great. In his pre-fight interview, he said, I'm going to really use my kicks. Because he was in Thailand really practicing and had confidence in the power of his kicks, he showed it and finished with that big right knee, which got that big cut on
Antonio Gomez. And here it is right there. The big knee cut a huge gash into the beard, and the referee said he could not continue.
It was perfectly timed, and the fact that he predicted that just made it even more spectacular.
And Freddie Camayo, let's not forget him, the 34-year-old who dropped down from heavyweight to light heavyweight, trying to stay relevant, and he did so by beating the 19-year-old Imad Hadar.
And it was a tough round. That first round, Hadar came out, threw some flying knees, but it was Camayo who really weathered that storm and was able to land some good power shots and showed his maturity, showed his man strength against the young Hadar.
But the future is certainly still bright for Hadar, who is 19 years old. He's got all the skills in the world, but maybe needs to work on his defense a little bit more.
Yeah, and that's what it is by being young and having that experience. You really toughen your body, and that years of fighting really gives you that shield and that armor that Hadar is going to need to develop.
Also, congratulations to Yuhan Shi, who opened up our fight tonight at just 18 years old, the youngest fighter in Glory today in his debut, the Chinese fighter, victorious. Looking forward to seeing him back in the ring very soon. Well, that'll do it for this edition of the Glory Super Fight Series here from Copenhagen, Denmark. For the entire Glory crew, including Whitney Miller, my broadcast partner Joseph Valtellini, I'm Todd Grisham. We'll see you next month, May 20th in Holland.
His historic win against Badr Hari, the king of kickboxing, returns. Undisputed heavyweight champ Rigobert Houben puts his 12-fight win streak on the line against Moroccan Ismail Lazar. Nicknamed the Tank with a chin of steel, Lazar likes to crush his opponents with well-timed bombs and body shots. War is declared. The king of kickboxing returns. Glory 41 Superfight Series at the Brabant Hallen Den Bosch, Saturday, May 20th. Don't miss it.